Lucifer was the human being in the light, or light bearer, the holder of light. Light bearer. Lucifer meant the human being holding a soul. That was the light you were bearing. That means you were aware that you were in a human form and you had a soul. That puts you at the beginning of your conscious path. Then the other side of that polarity, when your soul is in the ravenous pit, the dungeons, in the mouth of the dragon represents your intestines, you have to raise that light to the divine Christ energy. Understood? So Lucifer and Christ were different polarities on the same pole. Now, there was actually a third understanding of what we could fall into, and that was called a Ahriman. And that was the teachings of Zarathustra. And ultimately, that was the true evil, or the true destruction. Later, they took that scenario out and hid it, and Lucifer became the evil guy, the father of humanity and in hell and all of that. But those were actually attributed to Ahriman, or another energy, which in just Zarathustra was taught under this name. All right? So it was the true unlike you for who you are, because Lucifer was the light bringer, the light bearer. He was the bright star in the morning. He was Jesus Christ, just in the context of negative polarity, in the context of your beginning point, or the root chakra, which is why it's red and why the devil's red. That was you being aware of your foundation, your root chakra. And your beginning journey was to understand, I am Lucifer. This is hell. I am the Lord in this hell as a materialistic person. Boom, you're the Christ. But there was another way of being, the true Antichrist. Because Lucifer can't be the Antichrist. He's the light bearer, right? So how can Lucifer be the Antichrist? It works because he's anti in terms of polarity. But nobody's thinking polarity. They're thinking, when they say Antichrist, it's the opposite in the context of good versus evil. And they're two different entities. But we know by the law of polarity, like and unlike are alike. Like and unlike are the same thing. So Lucifer and Christ are the same thing. So the context, we understand Antichrist as there's a Christ and there's something else. That's different from the Christ. That's not the truth. There was something else, and this something else was called a Ahriman. I'm always forget that name. And it means destructive spirit. So let's read some of the things in the influences of Lucifer and the Ahriman. It says, in India, incarnating into a physical body has long been considered a curse. I want y'all to hear this, because why I'm bringing this up after I talked about the genetics and talked about white people is because we think as black folks, this is the black portion of it, that white folks are our ultimate enemy, our opposite polarity. That's not true. Remember, unlike and like are the same thing. What's opposite from who you truly are is actually what you guys are promoting the most. Trayvon Martin must stop, police must stop, chemtrails must stop, we got to eat healthier as black people, we got to come up with an economic plan. Guess what? That's your true evil, because what you're doing is raising up humanity. And let me be clear on this. Where we go from here, this ain't for the faint of heart. This ain't for the lighthearted. I know you like your mama and you like your kids, and black people must overcome. But this is a very heavy occult understanding, and you have to get ready for this. You just don't walk into this, and I'm just not going to convince you of me saying, this is for people who are on the frequency. But you ain't going to never say, I ain't motherfucking said it. Alright? So listen closely now. Because I want y'all to understand this for real, for real. In India, incarnating into a physical body has long been considered a curse. You're entering into the veil of tears, which constitute life. You're under the veil of tears. Scientifically, that's called the magnetosphere. You're under, and that magnetosphere looks like a web. It's called the web of Isis, or the veil of Isis. So you entered, or the veil of nature, actually, Mother Nature. So you've entered into the veil of tears, meaning no matter what you do as a human, you will suffer. No matter how much, see, oh, we eat like this, we eat organic, but then you know that's not really organic, and you know that's really not this, and you know they're really still doing that, and you know that really seed ain't this. It's never perfect. Never perfect. Go to yoga, there's a bunch of sweat on the floor. Somebody else's sweat. They always stink and everything. Meaning, and I'm saying it lightly, but no matter what you do here is doomed to fail for no other reason. For no other reason than you're human. So what I see is a bunch of black people trying to perfect failure. A bunch of black people trying to perfect failure. That's running around chasing your own tail. It's a fucking oxymoron if you understood the way the ancients looked at humanity itself. This is the lowest part of you, and all you have here is to journey back to your true self. That's why the Kamites dealt with nothing but the realm of death. And death is nothing more than transformation. The ultimate transformation. At the point of when you got enough understanding about this planet that you knew enough not to be dragged back to it, but not to bring yourself back to it. You get all that you need from it in this trip. So if you're conscious, you have woken yourself up enough to know, just by the mere fact that you're conscious, that something exists outside of you. And we have levels of consciousness. You may feel something. So when you're starting to deal with health, you're just waking up. Because you're trying to be conscious, but all you know is humanity. So you say, you turn it back in on your problem. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the woman who's getting beat up by a man, and instead of getting rid of it or going past that man, they start saying things of how to improve it. Well, if I don't talk, if I don't run my mouth, he won't hit me. He hit me, but it's my fault. What you're doing is saying, looking at the problem and trying to find a solution within the major problem. Well, once we get the new house, he won't hit me no more. Once you get a new job, he won't hit me no more. If I get pregnant, then he'll love me like I need to do. Once we get married, I'm going to be his wife, and he won't cheat on me no more. What's that saying? That's a sick mind. That's saying I'm not going to deal with the true problem. I'm just going to try to fix this problem with solutions, ideas. So the true problem is that you're a human being. The Kamites knew it. Show me the hieroglyph that said we should live forever. In fact, you all love this Kamitic life, and the Kamites were so beautiful and wonderful. Then how come they did nothing but study death? I need you to explain that to me then. Explain that to me. And really, I don't need you to explain it. I need you to symbolically talk to yourself, because I don't give a fuck what you think or believe. You need to believe that. But let's pretend. I need you to explain to me why they study nothing but death. Why? If things look to be so good in your idea of what was good for black folks. It's because they had a higher understanding of life itself. The mere fact that life turned into what it turned into tells you the story. If you ran the planet, you was Kamite, you was full of magic and full of tradition and knew how to walk through walls and fly. The mere fact that Earth can turn into what it has become is enough to say to you, humanity ain't shit. And even if you turn it all around, you take over rap music again like you want to do, you get all the white people who you believe is your enemies off the planet, and there's a chicken in every pot, coconuts are now growing off the trees, you niggas dance all day, sing all day, and lay on the fucking beach all day. You got this planet again. Everyone's smart as Obama or whoever the fuck you look up to. There's no more black men in dresses and all the shit you complain about. The mere fact that it can turn into something this savage, again, is a problem for me. Especially when you need to understand you're Lord of the perfect black. You're from a place where this doesn't exist. You're from motherfucking Zamunda, nigga. The royal penis is clean, bitch. You know what I'm saying? The royal penis is clean. And you're from this place. And you're down here trying to perfect dysfunction. Maybe when we get married, humanity won't beat me. Maybe when humanity gets a better job, it won't beat me no more. Maybe if I pay if we stop all the gas companies, the white people going right now, you niggas wouldn't know what to do. Do you keep paying rent? Well, what if a black person owns your house? Do we use the same money system? Are we on the bartering system? Or you heat your house with gas, what are you going to heat it up with now? Because we know that's destroying the environment, let's say. Electricity. You wouldn't even know what the fuck to do. To go to work or not go to work. We're not here to fix this system. We're here to eradicate it. Real conscious niggas need to understand. So let's go from the ancient teachings in India. Incarnating into a physical body has long been considered a curse. They know what the fuck is going on. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You pretend to like a nation them, but let's listen to what these motherfuckers were teaching. What we were teaching. That's Indus Kush. That's us. Alright? The medieval Kaffirs saw the human body as a pit into which the devil has lured the souls of the weakened angels. So the devil represents the light bearer or your soul. The angel represents this form of your polarity, the higher point. So the luring is nothing but the falling of your soul, represented as the devil or angels. They're just talking about polarity. They ain't talking about good or evil, which is something you learned in church. They're talking about the mechanisms of who you are, where you stand right now. All right? Procreation was thus looked upon as a horrid act of unwitting cruelty. Listen to this again. Procreation was thus looked upon with horror as an act of unwilling cruelty. Each new birth dragged a heavenly soul into the fallen world of matter, bringing another diabolically corrupt angel into the flesh. Listen closely. Even the study of the physical body was closely suspect. All right, listen, I want you to hear this, because I'm going to put it in the context of what you niggas are doing right now. Right now. First of all, the medieval Kaffirs saw the human body as a pit into which the devil had lured souls of the weakened angels. So based upon your lust, based upon your fucking, you're actually bringing angelic spirits into incarnate here. The seeds, we must save the seeds. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that's right. The royal penis is clean, nigga. Procreation was thus looked upon with horror as an act of unwilling cruelty. So each time you niggas is going, I want to have a baby in the seeds and put that on earth, on your ancient science, your ancient understanding, shows me y'all niggas ain't ready. Y'all think y'all ready. Oh, Pata Maya, y'all ain't ready. Y'all want to play with this shit. Come on, get your study on. And you find out what they were really talking about in the ancients. The real enlightened motherfuckers. The real scientists. This is an act of cruelty, bringing a baby in this motherfucker. While you overjoyed this another black light. I celebrate when Trayvon Martin leaves this planet, goddammit. That's a success story, no matter how he goes. A motherfucking success story. His story leaves behind a job for you social niggas to do, complain about. And we are Trayvon Martin, and put on your fucking hood. That's for you, nigga. He's gone. He's straight. It's back to the realm of the gods, the angelic forces, whatever you decide to call them. Each new birth dragged a heavenly soul into the fallen world of matter. The fallen world of matter. Bringing another diabolically corrupt angel into the flesh. This is how this was looked upon about all you niggas, all them niggas you praying to. All them niggas you holding up. This is how they looked at it. This is still Egyptian. This is Egyptian shit. You know what I'm saying? Get into it. The Coptic Egyptians, later day Egyptians, were the Gnostics. And they go hard on this here information about the flesh, matter, and the diabolical act of bringing kids here. Almost in how dare you. This shows where they had orgies, and anybody who got pregnant, they killed the motherfucking babies. As an act of kindness. An act of kindness. Abortion is a fucking act of kindness. If you understand your ancient shit. Like I said, a lot of niggas ain't ready for this. But the babies and the black people and our race and what we gonna do next? The babies. Yeah, okay, I hear you. Go for yours. I deal with a whole different science here. And this is ours, whether you like it or not. Okay, the name Lucifer comes from the Latin meaning bearer of light. We discussed that. Means as Lucifer, you are aware that you have a soul and you're aware that it's fallen. That's what Lucifer really means. One of the things. Okay. You got, it's also, Ahariman is also called Ingera Menu. Aingra space Mainu, or Ahariman, was first spoken of in Zoroastrianism of ancient Persia. So Zoroastrianism is from ancient Persia, just so you niggas know. Was first, he was a evil god, the lord of lies, who tempted men and women and made them believe that they were solely earthly beings. Oh, there's one more thing I want to go back to. When I was talking about procreation as an act of unwilling cruelty, I also said this line. Even to study the physical body was closely suspect. Even to study the physical body used to be suspect in terms of your understanding and in terms of it being evil or weakened. So when you start studying health in organics too closely, when you become too obsessed. Now we know, let me be clear, you need to have your little healthy shit. You don't want your body suffering. Anything you could do so your body's in perfect order for you to actually study, I believe. Not for you to just live on this motherfucker and go, now I get to pay another month of rent because now I've taken my goddamn spirulina pills or whatever the fuck it is you taking. I've juiced, so now I can live longer only to work at Walmart. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you need to be of healthy body and mind to a certain extent. You have to factor it in. But even to study the physical body too closely was suspect. So when motherfuckers is talking this, all I do is yoga all day, I get it if you're an instructor. But if you're trying to, you know what I mean, there's got to be a line, or you can make the line. You not have to follow my line in the sand. I have my own personal line in the sand where you're doing a little bit too much. But know that if you determine someone's doing a little bit too much, this, at least by the Cathars and our old ancient information, this was considered suspect. That's why you hear me talking about it like it's good, but it's suspect. You get what I'm saying? Because you're doing too much to raise up your humanity, and by nature, humanity is evil. God damn it, the royal penis is clean. All right, so let's move on. He is an evil god, Lord of the lies, who tempted men and women to believe that they were solely earthly beings. So I've heard some black people talking this shit. What you niggas thinking about Saturn for? We on Earth. It's about Earth right now. What's that going to do for black people right now? Instead of answering that dumb shit, when you saying you God rules all things in the universe. Saturn's an energy, and if you don't think you can access that energy right now, once you understand what it is, then you's a fucking fool. And you weak. Expand your shit, nigga. If you stuck on Earth, there's a thing for that. An understanding for that. And here's what you participating in, my nigga. My ignorant nigga. He was an evil god, the lord of lies, who tempted men and women to believe they were solely earth beings. There's study on this. So if you sit there going, I'm from Earth, guess what? You participating in the ignorance that's even older than this goddamn America that you condemning. All right? In Gnosticism, this is the demiurge. There's an energy that helped create you as a human being, that created this reality that needs you to believe you are nothing but a human being, and all your plight is in this human goddamn reality, and everything that happens to you is happening because of other humans and not because there's an energy who controls all human behavior. Your free will is smaller than you think. Your free will is actually otherworldly, and until you enhance that, you're not really dealing in the realm of freedom. Think freedom is going to be an economic plan? You think freedom is going to be a food diet plan? You think freedom is going to be in the realm of exercising? Freedom is in the realm of your mind. The mind is all, the universe is mental, meaning everything in this reality starts and ends with your motherfucking mind. And you don't even know what it is you participating with your fucking philosophies. There are evil gods. There are energies that created this realm. Demiurge energy, Yaldabaoth, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahi-Vahi in Gnosticism. And now you're getting it in Persia, they're telling you the same motherfucking shit. A Hariban. There's an energy that they're talking about. You're participating in it, and that energy is pro-humanity. The more you believe you are nothing but a human, and you resort to nothing but human means to deal with your ills, to deal with your problems, the more you are participating in the very fucking evil that got you in this fucking situation. You are feeling, my niggas, the royal penis is clean. Until you deal with your science, until you deal with the opposite polarity of your humanity, you ain't dealing with shit. That opposite polarity is spirituality, period. That's the black man's technology. You are not going to kick the white man's ass with his technology, guns. Because no matter what guns he decides to give you, he will make a greater one. Because that's his science. So no matter what occult science white people have, we are the greater ones. And until you get into your motherfucking work, until you get into your shit, you ain't doing nothing. You just an ass kisser. You kissing ass. You doing what it is he needs you to do. Participate in humanity. And he's only acting out. That's why he puts you in a dress in every movie. That's why he kills you in every movie. That's why this is his white supremacy system. It's not even raised up by his mind. You see how he lived in Europe. You see how he lived in the cave. You think he could run this world supreme unless there was a hidden God, a hidden evil, a hidden spirit that is actually running this shit and using him as a goddamn front piece. So while you looking at him, the white man, he got to stop this beast. And this white man, there's a God behind you. Everything here is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Y'all need to deal with these spirits to get your ass out. You need to know who and what it is and identify the energies that's really working against your ass. Ain't no fucking white man. He lived in a cave and covered it up with shit. I told you that. And the 1% who know can't even tap into this shit for real. They can only have you running around through mind control, taking advantage of your sleeping. The average white person on the street, let me be clear, this is not a dialogue against them. This is not an anti against them. I really don't care less, number one. Number two, you don't know nothing that even opposes me, really. The opposition that comes from me are entities that created this place, who most of them don't even exist. But what they left behind is called your ego. So when you got white people making these obvious earthly offenses against you, your ego is reacting to them. You don't give a fuck about Trey Martin. You give a fuck that they had the audacity, that white man had the audacity to kill him. And then that's why you say things like, well, what if it was me? It could have happened to my kid. Because that's your ego. You're not saying, wow, damn, Trey Martin, my heart, and you saying it could have happened to me, and that's why it's the most important, which means it's a fucking ego thing. White people are the outward people to hate. That's their role, one of their roles, at least we can count on. And it's a distraction. When you read your ancient shit, before there was white people in existence, because this was written before white people ever crawled the earth. Before white people ever had a privy in their upstairs room with a tube leaning out the side of the building where the shit flowed and piled up and turned to this mud that you couldn't get off your shoes, as I read to you in the last lecture. Before it turned into all of that, before we had the opportunity to look at them in disgust, as most of us do, before we had that opportunity, there was information, plenty of information. I'm just reading from one source, but plenty of information that told you that your problem is bigger than anything on this planet. It is really how you got here. And when you read in Gnosticism, what came to rescue this ignorance was the divine mother sent down, the great mother Sophia sent down her divine sparks in man who crawled around like a worm. And that was called the soul. And that's where you heard dialogues, I am a jealous God. What is he jealous? He's jealous of you. Thou shalt not bear false idols, meaning you should not worship false idols, meaning you should not worship the human body. You should not worship humanity, not no Egyptian statue. That's not what that means. Because you're not worshiping the statue. You're using the statue as a gateway for the energies. And you're accessing the energies. You're not even worshiping the energies. You niggas are worshiping Oshun. You're supposed to access Oshun. You understand? That's the difference. The false idol was materialism. And a white man like you are a material being down here. And no matter how much you say you hate him, you still worship him. You still hold him up high to hate him. Once you realize he ain't really nothing. They don't really know. They ain't got nothing. There's 1% working against you and only working against you in your own ignorance. In helping to perpetuate and hold on to your ignorance and mind control. They took advantage of you when you was already on a sliding scale. You was already, when the height of Egypt that you know, even Dr. Africa tells you, was at the decline. When they started writing on everything, hieroglyphs, when they was declining. So when you get to cultures and traditions, we was declining. Just because it's better than slapping a tangerine in church, we think jumping around with some beads on is the ultimate. But that was still in decline. When white people was able to show up, we were in deep decline. So they were only a product of inevitability in our decline. So when they showed up, it's not like they came and took over because they was the hot shit. We already told you what there was nothing in them that made them hot or gave them the ability to do it. Only that we wasn't doing nothing. We went through a sleep period because we're supposed to wake up beyond this reality. We did everything there was to be done here. There was a chicken in every pot. We already built a pyramid. There's nothing more. There's no more work to be done here. So when you look at Gnosticism and she sent the divine light or the divine sparks to correct this situation, guess what, my niggas? Good job. We have corrected it. All that information exists on the planet. It's in the DNA. It's in the genes. Now we're in a sleeping period, and I'm here, Bobby's here, Brother Phil's here, and all the teachers you've seen before you. Brother Azariah, Dr. Aline L. Bay, Sister Joe Polkram, Sonia Barrett, I believe her name is, and I'm sure there's many others known that I know and that I don't know that are here to resurrect you from this sleeping period. It's happening. We don't run around this motherfucker. We run this motherfucker. Only if you get with the ancient understanding and get with the frequency of what's going on. I'm on a universal time clock, not a human time clock. I'm outside these circles of time, and I'm on a forever being time, which is why I can tell you what I'm telling you. I shifted my consciousness beyond just our earthly consciousness, and I urge you to do the same goddamn thing. It is a necessity if you want to deal. The only law in the universe is change. Chaos, baby. You have to be a chaos being, Not walk around in this motherfucking creation. I am my yacht. You don't even know what that shit really means anymore.